Out with Rico and Carla is about to go live online. Catch All Out Monster hit music, All Out celebrity interviews, All Out showbiz and sports news, All Out fun, and exclusive on the Monster. Catch the stream on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Your All Out hosts, Rico Robles and Carla Aguas. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Boy, oh boy, we are traveling today. Yesterday we did go to London. We're going to go back there right now. Of course, it is 6:58 here in the Philippines, but over there it's morning. And we're talking to an artist that just got done touring with Han and also releasing some solo work. Well, she is a solo artist and she does have 12 days of BEKA. What is that all about? We'll be talking to her, ladies and gentlemen. First time on the show. Give it up for BEKA. Hi, BEKA. How are you doing?
What an intro. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great. Thank you for taking time. We're excited for your music. Now, first and foremost, how's everything? How's everything going there?
Things here, they've actually taken a little bit of a turn. We were kind of fighting COVID and it was all going great. Now we've had a few more restrictions come in, but it's nearly Christmas and that's kind of our sweet spot in England. We do Christmas very well. So I'm great.
And that's been, of course, keeping you busy as far as the music is concerned. When everything was shutting down, did you continue working on your music, or did you take some time off, spend time with family, or you just kept on writing and ran with it?
Yeah, so actually lockdown was kind of the craziest, busiest time for me. That's when I released my first singles, my first bit of music. My first single came out in the October of last year, so like smack bang in the middle of COVID. And it was a song called I'll Be There, and was kind of a little bit about mental health, a bit about being for those, being there for those that we love. So it was kind of the perfect time amidst a very crazy time that we were all in.
And when it's moments like that, it served as a soundtrack. You know what I mean? In a way, were there people reaching out to you that were like surprised, like, yo, BEKA, thank you for the music. Thank you for this. We needed this.
Yeah, that's what was really special, actually. I had obviously having, been able to tour the world and meet people in lots of different places, having people across the world respond to the song. I think with it having been the first song and with it being about, the things that we were all going through, I didn't actually write it in lockdown. I wrote it way before then, but I guess it's funny how those things just work out, isn't it? You kind of have something when you need it.
It all now goes according to plan. Now, with things opening up, are you excited? Have you done any shows? Have you gone back on stage, or is it mostly just recordings and then promotions?
So a lot of this year was getting new singles out and kind of building the BEKA world. And then in July, we've had some shows. And then in October, I had my first headline shows, which were just, they were amazing. I think it's such a crazy experience as an artist to have people spend their money, their hard-earned cash, and come and sing your songs. And I think because everything had happened over the last year in lockdown, not seeing anybody, it was such a shock for me that people knew the lyrics and that they'd even come. And they were both sold out. So that was like mind-blowing for me.
And can you walk us through how was it when the first time you went on stage and you said hello to the people? Were you nervous, or is it like, did it feel like you were auditioning again for something?
It was thanks for reminding me, actually. It was such a sweet moment. So I was in Nottingham, which is my hometown, in kind of the middle of England, and I walked out and the band had already started playing, and I had like family and friends and people I'd grown up with, and then faces that I never knew, all packed into this beautiful, like intimate room. And it was a moment I will never, ever forget. And I know you hear that phrase probably a lot, but I think for me, it was just wild that these people were here for me headlining. It was so deep. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to headlining, that is every performer's dream, to have your own billboard or poster or whatnot. But performing for family and friends, is it harder than performing for strangers? Is there a lot more pressure when you're on stage with family?
It's so interesting because you're looking into the faces of these people who know you in your normal life. They don't know you as an artist. And, you know, I have such amazing family and friends who really have supported me for my whole life. But, you know, it's a capacity that they don't really know me in, apart from when they're listening to the music. So it was a bit nerve-wracking. And I think it was a very intimate show. We wanted to make sure that people really felt close, because at that time, you know, COVID wise, we were able to. And I think I had to take a moment to kind of study myself, having my best friends right in front of me and wanting to like dance and go a bit crazy, but also seeing your friend who you sit in your tracksuit and have a cup of tea with right in front of you. It's strange, but I think it was, you know, it's a challenge, and it was more special than it was anything else.
And can you imagine, like, you know, your mom and dad are watching you. You have to hold back a little bit. You can't go stage dive immediately, right? It's
Exactly.
like,
But because it was the first show, I thought, you know what, I actually can't hold back, because that's what people will have seen in the past. So I've just gotta slam it. So hopefully it was good.
and you know, it's very, very exciting that everything is already back to normal now. We all know that Christmas season, you did mention that that's something that you guys love to do. Now tell us about this 12 days of BEKA. What's this all about?
So because we've all had a crazy year across the world, I wanted to do 12 days with BEKA, giving away a gift to somebody every single day. I think I just, over the past few weeks, have noticed that as much as we're kind of fighting COVID, it also seems to be just difficult still. So I wanted to do 12 days of giving away gifts. And so I've partnered with some of the brands who've been really supportive with me over the year, and some of my artist friends. And we're giving away signed vinyls, we're giving away trainers, clothes, experiences, tickets for shows. And in fact, it's meant to be for 12 days until the 12th of December, but we've had such amazing response from friends and, you know, different brands, that I think we might be able to do it for longer. So who knows? But yeah, if you head to my Instagram, every day I'm setting a new challenge, and then we'll be announcing a winner. Wherever you are in the world, you have a chance of winning. And I just want to be able to spread a bit of Christmas cheer for people who have been, you know, really struggling. So 12 days with BEKA.
I think it's gonna be 24 days, right?
I
Because
really hope so. That's what I
you
really
know,
want, Rico. I really want that.
you know, it's a lot of prizes to be given. And once again, go to her Instagram. If you're just tuning in, the BEKA, she is joining us from London. She's just hanging out with us, talking about her music. In the background, you're hearing Thorn. This is her song, of course. Tell us about what's in store, because we all know that this is the final quarter of 2021, ushering in 2022. What you got in store for all your fans?
Oh, next year we're going to be having a few more singles, you know, throughout the year, lots of new music, but also some shows, hopefully. There's a lot of things I can't tell you yet because they are secret, but some very, very exciting announcements coming in the first bit of the year. And some of my favorite songs that I've ever written, we're probably going to have our first music videos. There's just so much. I mean, I always overshare, so I probably shouldn't say any more, but
that's what we got to keep a track on your IG stories. I think that's what it's all about. Now, you know, BEKA, here on the show, we do have all out questions where we just ask fun, random questions. Now for you, what's the most memorable Christmas gift that you have ever received, and from who, if you could remember?
Oh my gosh. So when I was about 16, I had a boyfriend who's actually now my husband. And he went out to loads of vintage stores and he bought loads of these like French vintage, antique pieces of furniture, candle holders, teacups. And I didn't know that he knew that I liked any of that stuff. And he took like a few days. He took some of my best friends out and they went. And in the UK, we have amazing vintage stores. So he got me like 25 gifts from these stores. And it was, who is this man? He's amazing.
And that's the reason why y'all got married, right? So how did he lay it out to you? He put it all in the room, and then all of a sudden he gave you the key, and when you opened, it was like that?
So there I was thinking we're doing these normal presents, and he just, literally, it was exactly that. He said, just come in here a sec, and he'd wrap them all up. And I mean, I was like mind blown that there were all these presents, but then opening them up, obviously I had a little cry because I just didn't know that he knew that I liked that kind of stuff. So well done him.
It's really, really cool. You got game. Your husband got game.
He
That's
does.
what it's all about. That's what it's all about. How about, you know, for Christmas, we all know the holiday season, there's great food everywhere from all over the world. For you, what's your favorite that you like to eat, you like to drink when it comes to the Christmas season?
So piece of lamb seasoned by my mum. She is the
Mm.
greatest cook. Bit of West Indian kind of Caribbean vibes. Lamb. And then my favorite drink, probably, oh, I love a good mulled wine. Do you
Mm.
guys have that over there?
No, what is that?
So mulled wine is kind of a very Christmassy drink where you put in, it's like red wine, but kind of
Mm.
sweeter, and you put in like oranges and cinnamon and like flavorings, and it's like a hot wine. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, so it's like
It's
a hot toddy. It's like similar to
Yeah,
that.
similar to
Yeah,
that.
all right.
Yeah,
It's like
you'd
a
love it.
sangria and a hot toddy combined.
You
Then it's
smashed it. I should have just said that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hey, okay, we gotta try that out. Now, Becca, you're famous, you travel all over the world. Who's the most famous person that you have ever met? If
Oh
you could
my
remember.
gosh. This is such a good question. Oh, the most famous person I've ever met. I'm so bad with this kind of thing because I can just never
Mhm,
remember. Because in the moment, I hate to like give away that I'm shook.
mhm.
Is Oh gosh, I don't even know.
Is it
Who's the
Britney Spears, Rihanna?
I
Is it
wish.
the Queen of England?
The Queen. Yeah, I've met the Queen.
Yeah?
I met the Queen of England. Yeah, I sang for her once when I was in my early 20s at the
Mhm.
Commonwealth, this like Commonwealth awards in the UK, and she walked past and I sang for the Queen. So the Queen, thank you. I need to remember
Yeah?
that. Pretty great, isn't it?
And did you get to like shake her hand or you were just singing
No, I
and
was just singing, sadly. That would have been really awkward, wouldn't it? If I was singing and I just put my hand out.
you like, give a fist bump or
Yeah,
whatnot, right? But
elbow in
when
the
you
COVID.
when you perform for such a large audience, or like for example, if you have somebody very, very important in the audience, what is it that you think about so you don't get nervous?
Oh, I think I'm always thinking about what I want people to feel. I think
Mm,
thinking about like the experience for the audience really helps me get out of my head thinking about whether people are going to like it or like me, and makes me think a bit more about the reason.
mm,
Um, and I think music's so transcendent; it takes us outside of our like emotions and our experience at that time, and allows
mm.
us to feel free. And I think if I can facilitate the story of the songs, hopefully people can feel that a bit. So yeah, that's kind of where my head goes.
And with your musical journey throughout the many times when you first started and then up to now, when you have your headlining shows, was there any advice that anyone has ever given you that you took to heart and you use it every time you feel down, anytime you don't feel like performing or the opportunity slip away, but it kept you going? Is there any advice that someone gave you? And if somebody gave you that advice, who was it that gave you those words?
Oh, that is such a lovely question. I think often my parents actually will remind me that where this desire to do this came from and for how
Mm,
long of my life it's been something that I've wanted to do. And I think that kind of roots me back to being grateful,
mm,
and not letting it kind of overwhelm me. Because there's so many times I think being a musician where it's quite a physical job, so you can feel tired, you can feel a bit apathetic, but they will often remind me, there's like a bigger reason for doing this, and this is something that you've wanted to do for your whole life. So just take that pressure off and just be in the
mm.
moment. They're very encouraging, my parents. They're great.
Man, those are great words, right? I mean, it's sometimes when you feel like, oh, I can't do it no more, and you have so much doubt, right, within you,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I don't know where to begin. Now, when you make your original songs, when you do put it out before you record it in an album, you have any advice for the songwriters out there that are trying to get their feelings out, their emotions out on pen and paper and music, and they're still
Absolutely.
sort of doubting themselves? Do you have any advice?
I think every person who's ever done something great that you would recognize is a normal person. They
Mm,
began as you. So I think you are just as qualified as somebody who is your idol, would be my first thought. And then my second thought would probably be, um, if you're trying to, if you're songwriting, capture the
mm,
true emotion of that day. Don't worry about how it's going to translate. Don't worry about making it pop or making it attainable, or whether you're going to kind of stay true to those feelings the next day. I think some of the
mm,
best art that the world has ever experienced is when someone's able to express that true emotion in that day. And that's who they
mm,
were in that moment. And I think when you do that, it's a bit like journaling, isn't it? You're writing down what you're thinking in an
mm.
uninhibited way in that kind of pure moment. Um, and instead of just worrying about, will it chart, will it be pop,
Mhm.
which is just distracting. So
It's just getting your emotions out and be as honestly human possible as you can, and
yeah,
let the charts worry about itself and later on,
100%.
right?
Yeah. And once you have
Right?
that first thing, you can then, you can change it later, but getting that like
Mhm.
gold is, it's priceless.
The Becca's joining us. She joins from London. For those that are tuning in, we are listening to Thorn on air. We're just asking some random questions now. For you, which track of yours, what's the toughest to perform? Like, do you find yourself breaking down emotionally when you perform this song?
Ooh. I think, yeah, the songs, they're all from pieces of my life. So they all kind of
Mhm.
have different effects on me. But I do find singing I'll Be There is quite emotional. At the headline shows, we kind of had a bit of a different ending to them where we went back into the bridge and like went over and over and over it. And there was a moment where I was like, I thought I would break.
Mhm.
So that's always super emotional. And then Thorn. Thorn is like my latest single is it's a hard song to sing.
Mhm.
And I think that challenge, yeah, vocally that's probably the harder one, but emotionally it would be I'll Be There.
And Becca, with you being a songwriter, for sure you have gone through your share of heartbreaks and all that. Do you have any advice for those that are tuned in for how you got over it, how you became happy, and how you became Becca like now?
Yeah, I think the thing that really helps me is some things that like my aunties will tell me, which is,
Mm,
life is not a one track road. It is full of
mm,
highs and lows, and the pain informs the joy. And I think you can't have joy sometimes without having pain. So
mm,
what you're going through is valid and it's okay, and you don't have to rush it through. I think when we try to rush through our pain and our hurt, we
mm,
don't deal with it, and so it then springs back up later in life. So I think taking the time with people that you care about to be a little bit vulnerable and just go there is so important.
mm,
And then I think also, if you're in a situation with someone who maybe isn't the best or maybe isn't treating you the best, and you're wondering, will I ever find someone again? Remember, you're a spice. You're a
mm.
queen. You're a king. You're amazing. This is your one only life. So don't waste it with people who are wasting your time. That would be my feeling.
Well said. Becca, thank you. Hope that we can all hang out when you're here in Manila. I mean, it'll
Please.
be great to have a great conversation with you, but thank you for taking time to join us. Message to all your fans here in the Philippines.
Philippines, you are hands down my favorite place in the world. You are the kindest people. And if it were not for you, I would never have made music myself. So thank you for just cheerleading me. And I love you. And I cannot wait to come and see you and have some tea and champagne and shows.
Well, thank you. We cannot wait to see you. Keep on making that music. You know what I mean, Becca? You take care over there in London, and we'll
You too.
catch you again, hopefully live in the studio. All right?
Thank you for
Take
having
care.
me. Sending you
All right.
love.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, for all the fans of Becca. We're going to play you guys Torn, but here online, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Rico. Have a great one.
Monster exclusive interview only on Manila's hottest Monster